Alright Limbus fans, Project Moon has blessed us with two new IDs, W Corp Heathcliff and Manchaland Meursault. I don't really want to explain W Heathcliff as his kit is as straightforward as he is, but here is a 20-second breakdown. W Corp Heathcliff is a charge ID that can tank. His skill 1 and 2 builds up charge, and his skill 3 uses charge and clash up to a 44. You can guard to make skill 3 show up next turn, and it also removes his first stagger bar. Egos he likes are AEDD and Teleport. He looks cool. Done. Honestly, play him for 5 minutes and you'll know exactly what to do. Alright, now we move on to Meursault the Racist. Prince of Manchaland Meursault is a bleed ID that loves blood fiends. Most of his kit doesn't work well with other IDs. Let's start with his 3 passives and 3 unique buffs, as those are the confusing ones. His first passive is Blood Feast, standard to all Manchaland IDs, and for those who don't understand it, anytime anyone, allies or enemies bleed, the value on the top left corner of your screen goes up. Certain skills need this to function and do damage. Now we move on to his first unique buff, Hard Blood Armor. Pay attention because his whole kit revolves around this buff. Meursault and his allies can gain it when he uses any of his skills. When you have this armor, hitting an enemy heals you for 10% of the damage dealt. Omnivamp for you League players. After doing damage, you lose a stack, but if you make a Lust Resin, so 3 or more orange skills, you heal less but you don't lose a stack. This is really important to keep in mind because it leads to Meursault's second passive. For Manchaland IDs at max stacks of 5 Hard Blood Armor, they gain 2 insane bonuses. The first is that if they get staggered, they just recover from stagger. It's a no-brainer. This is amazing, especially for those harder stages in Mirror Dungeon Extreme when you rack up the adversities. But if that's not enough for you, all Manchaland IDs also gain a second unique buff, Focus Performance. This buff straight up buffs the damage of all skills for Manchaland IDs. You can only lose it if you don't have any Hard Blood Armor, which is why it's important to keep making Lust Resin to maintain your armor. Outside of failing to make a resin, you can only lose it by getting staggered and recovering from stagger as mentioned before. His third passive also deals with Hard Blood Armor. It gives offense and defense level up and haste based on its stack. But you really want to be at max stack anyway, so you'll be gladly taking these buffs along. And it's not done, because as the Prince of Manchaland, Meursault also buffs the Princess of Manchaland Rodion if they're both on the field. Their skill 3 does 15% more damage, no strings attached. And it's still not done. If Meursault has Focus Performance, so he's at max armor stacks, he inflicts a third debuff, La Mancha Parade, on hit to enemies. This makes enemies take 20% more damage from any Manchaland allies. Okay, now we're done. This is a lot of effects, but again, they all stem from this Hard Blood Armor. And if only there was some way that we can just consolidate all of it together. Oh, there it is. Okay, so just having Meursault on the field and handing out Hard Blood Armor is honestly enough. But let's say you were clinically insane and wanted him off the field. His passive is also a multiplier to gaining Blood Feast. So even on the bench, he's a great water boy, but for blood. Moving on, let's look at the skills. Skill 1 and Skill 2 are similar. They consume Blood Feast to apply Hard Blood Armor to himself and one ally based on their HP. It prefers Manchaland IDs and Blood Fiends, with them getting more armor. If he fails to give the armor, because there aren't enough Blood Feasts, he bleeds his allies instead, but that would also generate more Blood Feasts. These skills also inflict Bleed and a small amount of Rupture, with skill 2 having a bit more damage conditionals but apply less fragility. This is pretty great for Manchaland teams because most of their skill 3s are Lust. His skill 3 has 2 forms, Normal and Empowered. The normal one is okay, but no one really cares. What you want is the empowered version, and you get to use it when you have max Hard Blood Armor stacks. Now this skill is big. First, it applies 2 Hard Blood Armor up to 4 allies, as long as you make a 4 resin. If it's a Lust Resin, you apply 3 armor to each ally instead. So always make Lust Resins, as mentioned before. As for the damage, it has a 3 attack weight, rules 4 coins, heals 50% of the damage dealt. It clashes and deals 40% more damage based on the target's bleed, and it also inflicts La Mancha Parade to multiple enemies, so his allies can mop up stragglers with the extra 20% damage. The caveat is that this skill uses all of Meursault's armor, and you can only gain up to 3 back if you kill, stagger, or break parts. As for his defense skill, it's a counter with a unique effect. He bleeds his allies, but then clears them of some of the bleed. It doesn't work on higher kindreds, so likely only Rodion and Otis. As for Ego, of course you'll want Yearning Mikala for the bleed effect and the whole theme, but you should also take Regret for the coin power-up since skill 3 has 4 coins, and Pursuance for an overall buff when you win a clash. So here you have a bleed ID that is specialized in making Blood Fiends insane. His whole kit involves increasing his team's damage, making enemies take more damage, and protecting his kindred friends. Suffice to say, this unit is absolutely needed in a Manchaland Bleed team. There's no questions about it, and if you think I'm wrong, please comment below respectfully. I'm Mad King Tofu, and thanks for watching. Now like this video or everyone will know about that one cringe thing you did a few years ago. Bye.